Can we have a big round of applause, please? Good evening. Thank you.
Namaste. It is such a pleasure and honor to be present here at the Constitution Club. Thank you, Udit Raji, for inviting me, and Gaurav ji for having me here, and for all the hospitality that you've extended to make this visit possible. Your Excellencies and all the dignitaries on the dais, Nason, you have covered some of the points that I wanted to address, so I think I'm going to take a leaf from Madam Principal here and express the personal changes I've been able to make through the awareness that I have received over the last few years. I want to start with a very simple exercise that I do with school children when I conduct workshops with them, because I think what has happened, unfortunately, to us, modern urban society, is that plastics have become such an impermeable part of our lives that we don't see plastic. So this is a simple exercise that perhaps will help you see plastic. So may I request you all to please close your eyes. Your day starts with an item of plastic, which is your plastic toothbrush. What was the age when you started using your first plastic toothbrush? Were you 2? How old are you now? How many toothbrushes do you use in a year? Multiply that number with your age of plastic use. Now imagine you live to an age of 80. Or should we make it 100? I want to be optimistic. Long live everyone. Okay, so let's assume you live to the age of 100. Add the number of toothbrushes you have used in your lifetime. Now multiply that number with the population of your city. Now multiply that number with the population of your country. It's a very big number. It's a number that overwhelms you. But what I hope it also does is put into perspective that this is just one item of plastic that we use every day. Now think of all the other items of plastic that we use every day. So I think one of the most powerful exercises that each one of us can become aware of and start practicing is bring an awareness to everything that we use and throw. Think of where it's coming from and where it's going to go. Because I have great faith in the power of knowledge. When we discover that something that was developed and innovative to save lives, plastics are not bad. Plastic saves life. It's, we can reach medicines to far-off nations. We can store our medications, and it's life-saving. Plastics have also been used for several other amenities and, life needs that we all need. But unfortunately, it is the increased packaging, plastics that are used for packaging of food and beverage, and the fact that these companies and organizations have been irresponsible about the production of this packaging, and the fact that they haven't considered where all that waste is going to go and how we need to better manage that waste. And that apart, I think the fact that all of us who live in urban cities, but also in distant places far across nations where sometimes even There isn't even basic infrastructure like roads and electricity, but for some reason, packaged food and water has arrived there through tourism and other such infrastructure. And there are no collection, segregation, or disposal centers there. And this really harms the environment because in a lot of these places, and even in our urban centers, have any of you ever seen garbage being burnt? Have you? I need to hear a yes or a no. Is that a collective yes? Okay, so imagine in urban centers where we have collection and disposal systems, we see so much of garbage being incinerated. Now think of all those states, those rural areas, our agricultural fields, our rivers, our water bodies, our oceans where plastics are entering and also being incinerated, our landfills that are being burnt. This is obviously polluting our air, our soil, our water. There is a statistic that is really alarming which says that 90% of tap water has been discovered to have plastics in it. We don't know the full extent of the damage that these plastic particles do to human health, but we can only imagine how much harm it causes. So with World Environment Day, we are extremely optimistic that we can achieve a significant shift in human behavior, where through the advocacy that we've all been involved with, we can help more people recognize the consumption of single-use plastics and find ways to refuse single-use plastics. And of course, once we achieve that, we can start building more pressure on industry and policy and government to improve our infrastructure on managing plastic waste. So let me share with you some of the things that I've managed to incorporate in my everyday life. My day starts with a bamboo toothbrush. I use bamboo earbuds. I have replaced my regular sanitary napkin, which is made largely of plastic, with a natural, biodegradable sanitary napkin. I refuse to use plastic bags. I always carry a cloth bag, which is folded and kept in my handbag, and it's lighter than a mobile phone, and it's always on my person. I always tell the server before I order a drink not to give me a straw, unless, of course, it's a bamboo or a steel straw. I carry my own water. I carry my own water, and this one is a big one because I've managed to reduce my consumption of packaged water significantly. So I have 4 metal bottles that get packed into my suitcase. One is always on me, that get filled in the hotel or the home that I'm staying in and go with me wherever I go. So whether it's a meeting or a day at work or a shoot or I'm traveling to different parts of the world, I always carry my own water. These are some of the small changes, but I think one very big change that we must acknowledge when we speak about controlling plastic pollution is how we manage our waste at home. Just like ma'am, we ensure we segregate our waste and we compost all our wet waste in our society. It's a very easy thing. There are lots of books available. Children compost. So if little children can compost, I'm sure grown-ups can do it effectively as well. And in fact, now we have so much compost that we not just use it in our own building, we share it with our neighborhood. And more people actually come to our society to pick up compost from us. So these are the simple lifestyle changes that we've managed to achieve. And exactly like Udit Rajji said, I think it's essential for all human beings to become aware of the fact that we are not separate from nature. We are not a part of nature, but we are a part of nature. And what we do to nature, which is the environment, we are in fact doing to ourselves. And thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for your patient here, listen here. I really enjoyed being here, and I really hope that all of us can come together and become a part of the World Environment Day campaign, and of course take this pledge to refuse single-use plastics beyond World Environment Day. Thank you so much.